Alright, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan, and today we're building this custom floating desk. Alright, so this desk build represents part one in my home office makeover. And this office is down in my basement, and this is going to kind of turn into my man cave, YouTube studio, maker space, whatever you want to call it. But this desk is one of the key components that's going to make this space work. Alright, so here's the original design that I 3D modeled. It's made up of a 2x4 frame on the bottom that's going to be awesome for cable management. And then the top is made up of 3/4 inch thick wood that I'm going to glue together in kind of a custom pattern. The first step for me was to plane down the 2x4s to 3 inches thick. This way it reduces the overall thickness of the actual frame and it squares up the 2x4s nicely. Then I marked a height line on the wall of 29¼ inches of where I was going to mount my frame. Then using a level, I made sure that my lines corresponded because when you're measuring from carpet, you're not going to get a consistent height. Then I used a stud finder to find the studs and mark them with an X. And then I came back with a tape measure just to double check to make sure everything looked okay, looking for 16-inch centers. Alright, so now we're cutting boards and installing them. I'm starting with the back wall first, and you can see that I elected not to pre-build this entire thing and then install it in there. I know my walls aren't 100% straight, so I figured it would be a whole lot easier if I just built it right here on site and custom fit it to the walls the way that they are. Alright, then I measured out and cut the two side pieces, and I attached these the same way that I attached the back piece with 3.5-inch deck screws. If it was something that needed to hold a lot of weight or be structurally sound, I would have elected to use lag bolts because that's what those are designed to do, but this isn't going to be holding a ton of weight. Then I installed the front and all of the middle pieces using Craig Jig pocket hole screws. To build the top, I planed, jointed, cut, and ripped oak, walnut, maple, and cherry down to specific sizes that I was eventually going to glue together. Alright, so once all the pieces were cut to length, I arranged them on the gluing table, and I'm super lucky that I have the opportunity to use a gluing table like this with this many clamps, a clamp almost every 8 inches. But once they were fully arranged, I flipped them up on their ends and then put a ton of glue on them. In school, we would teach the kids that you would need to use some kind of joinery here, biscuits, dowels, or something to the like that. I didn't end up going with that because I knew how I was going to attach it to my frame, but that is something that we always recommend or teach. One of those do as I say, not as I do type of moments. Then after waiting 24 hours, I came back the next day and took off all the clamps. I flipped over the tabletop and scraped away a lot of the glue chunks that I couldn't get that dripped through when we were gluing it up the day before. I didn't get this part on camera, but I got a little help using this drum sander to rough flatten the top. Then later on, I used just a belt sander to kind of clean up the bottom. I wasn't crazy worried about the bottom because nobody's ever going to see this, but I did want it relatively flat so it sits on the frame nice. Once that was complete, I needed to actually start cutting this thing down to size. The wall on the right-hand side was pretty square, so using a square, I marked it out, and then I used the Craig track saw to make the cut. And then I'll be honest, this was the first time ever using this tool, and I'm super impressed with the way that this thing worked and how clean the cut was. All right, once I had the other side roughly cut down to size, I needed to mimic the wall on the left-hand side. I used a scribing technique, which I'm no pro at, to help me make a cardboard template. And then I took that cardboard template and I transferred it to the desktop. All right, then I used the jigsaw to cut it out and a sander to come back and kind of fine-tune it up. I'll be honest with you, I did this a few different times, slightly tweaking it each time to get it to fit right. My major tip is to kind of bevel it. Cut off more on the bottom or sand off more on the bottom than you think you need. It'll definitely help you when you go to test fit it. All right, here's one of my test fits, probably the fourth or fifth one that I did. And I'm only showing you the last one because it was kind of cumbersome moving this thing around a bunch, and I jacked up the walls a little bit when I did this. That's one reason that I'm building the desk before I do any painting or trim work or anything like that, because that'll get all taken care of later. But just something I want to warn you about. But there was a lot of putting this on, taking it back off, making sure that it fit correctly. I will say, though, overall, I am really happy with the way that this did fit. You can see some of the imperfections where I kind of jacked up the wall there, and you can see where the wall kind of gets away from the table in some places. I'll be honest, it's not because the back of the table's not flat, it's because the wall's not straight. I did have this little area right here. I was going to cut off this piece, but once I got it in here, I really liked the thickness of the desk, so I figured I would just miter off this corner and kind of make it a cool design feature. For this desktop, I ended up going with something a little bit different. I did a 45-degree chamfer bevel on this one. Normally I just do a roundover, but I wanted to try something a little bit different. All right, the next step of the process was to do the final sanding. You can see I drew all over the tabletop. This was something that I saw somebody do on YouTube, and it was actually kind of cool. It helped me track where I had sanded and where I had not. I went over the table 4 different times with 80, 120, 240, and then a 400 grit sandpaper, and it came out really darn smooth. Then I removed all the dust and debris using an air compressor and a tack cloth, and then went straight into the finishing process. And for me, I was using a Danish oil, a natural finish, and I really love this stuff because you really can't screw it up. If there is a little bit of dust still on the surface when you apply this, it doesn't really matter, unlike something like a polyurethane. You can see that I just pour it onto the surface and then wipe it in with a rag. And you can put on as many coats as you want. Then when it came time to actually attach the tabletop to the frame, I drilled Craig Jig pocket hole screws in the 2x4s coming up from the bottom. Put the top on, made sure I had a bunch of weight on it to hold it down because I couldn't necessarily clamp it down in the back, and then screwed it in from the bottom. I really like this method because no fasteners show from the top, and it does a really good job of holding that tabletop down. The last and final finishing piece for this project was just a white fascia piece. I used a white 1/2-inch thick piece of shiplap that I ripped down to thickness. Really, you could use anything, just something to cover up that 2x4. And then I filled in the nail holes just with a little extra paint on a roller. All right, at this point, the desk is pretty much finished up and ready to go. I'm pretty happy with the way it is. I like the kind of custom pattern that we went with here, and I think you guys can see where I got my inspiration from. I could simply move all my stuff back over here and start using the desk with, exactly the way that it is. But we're going to try to take it another step further, kind of in another video, where we make this thing the ultimate cable management desk. And I think that's where this frame really comes in handy that we built, underneath here right now. We have a whole lot of space where we can hide wires. And so my goal for this desk is to have 0 wires showing at all. So I hope you guys stick around for the second video and you see how we do this. We'll put in the monitors, put the computer back in, and all the other stuff that's assorted with that. And then in future videos, we're going to continue to work in this space to completely redo this home office, YouTube studio, maker space, design area, man cave, I don't know what you want to call it, but that's what we're going to be doing. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you like the desk. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or anything you want to let me know about this desk or future projects that you'd like to see, throw those down in the comments and I'll get to you kind of as soon as I can. And then always, if you're liking this kind of content and the journey that we're going on, I hope you guys subscribe, and I hope to see you in a future video.